Hi everyone. This is an urgent response to the president's statements just last night on 9/11, speaking about the Charlie Kirk shooting. And it was mourning, it was grieving, it was capturing some of the emotion of the American people. And there was a reference to the shooter being against these ideals, like the opposing ideals. So we need to unpack this. We need to unpack this because I generally don't think that it's the other ideas that's the problem. We're supposed to coexist with other ideas. We're supposed to get along. These lines are through which we love. This is how we represent democracy and freedom. It is the self-acceptance of both, not the demonization of one over the other. The other narrative here is communion. Communion is the experience of God. Communion is when you're actually seeing two opposite sides merge into one. Communion is the coexistence and getting along. That's God. That's communion. The statements we just heard sound very conquest. It's just, one versus the other. There is no coexistence. It's just like there's conflict there. It made the opposition of two views the bad thing. That's not the bad thing. A bad thing would be to use words to encourage other people to take life from one another because they're different. We don't want that. That's like irresponsible. We want to embody communion. We want to embody sharing space, even though there's conflict. And then, we just love that part of us that we can't reconcile with either. Do that, love that, and then talk about this to the person who's different than you. Talk about that with the opposite political opinions. Like, hey, I've been trying to love your version inside of me, and we kind of got this far, and like, oh, okay, cool. Like, that's another way to do it. So there is another way to commune. Conquest is disembodied, and it tends to lead to an anti-life or a taking, a devaluing, a de-dignifying. Actually, it feels like rape. It feels like rape. These are statements or moves that are made that reduce the value of the other. It erases their sovereignty, their right to exist. And freedom and democracy is all about coexisting. So let's be sure that we hear that too. Okay? We hear that too, and we amplify that to one another. And you know what? When we embody this energy of communion, guess what happens? When you embody communion, that's the second coming of Christ. That's Jesus' second coming. You're embodying love. It happens right there. That's revival, right? It's an excitement to commune. But when you do fuse, it really is embodying Christ. It makes death turn to life, crucifixion into resurrection. It flip-flops. What sin becomes sacred. Because you're embodying the love of Christ. Same thing, when you love a group that's a different opinion than you. And not only do you love them, you get along with them. You don't erase them. You kiss and hug, and maybe you make love. Ooh, that tension. That is what we're talking about. We can coexist. You see how easy that was? So that's why we had to slow down. That's why we had to stop right there, because it was heading down another direction of conquest that we don't need to go. That has been replayed over and over and over. We want communion. We want embodiment in communion. We need to have the chance to ask ourselves, do we want this? Do we want more disembodied conquest? I don't. Let's give ourselves that choice. But there's actually two things happening here. There's communion, which is revival, and then there's conquest. It's disembodiment. It's a repeat of an old narrative. It undignifies the other. It's spiritual rape. And that's not Christ. That's not. It just isn't. And that's a truth we're all remembering now, isn't it? Yeah. So the truth of Christ is the reconciliation of your full self. Feel it there, like we're all doing right now. Now we have this frame of reference. And then we just emit out there. So, dodged a bullet on that one.